The Ara Pacis is one of your other exam spec monuments, and you've got to be able to link it to the Prima Porta and also to the Forum. Ara Pacis literally means altar of peace. Now, the awesome thing about the Ara Pacis is that it's actually mentioned in Res Gestae. It was only discovered by Mussolini's archaeologists in the 30s, and so this particular phrase and verse in Res Gestae had always been a little bit of a mystery. But Augustus directly refers to it. Augustus in verse 12 in the Res Gestae says, "On my return from Spain and Gaul in the consulship of Tiberius Nero and Publius Quintilius, after successfully arranging affairs in those provinces, the Senate resolved that an altar of the Augustan peace should be consecrated next to the Campus Martius in honour of my return, and ordered that the magistrates and priests and Vestal virgins should perform an annual sacrifice there." In addition, Res Gestae verse 13 also tells us that the Temple of Janus's doors were closed, which also shows that Ara Pacis has quintessentially a message of peace. Now, just like the Prima Porta, Res Gestae also reverses Republican sculpture, and it gets back to a much more Hellenic style of sculpture. You'll notice that number one sculpture is the one that the Ara Pacis looks most like, and that's modelled on the Parthenon frieze. Republican sculpture up to Augustus had been like this very simplistic style that you can see in number two. So just like the Prima Porta, Ara Pacis reverts to Hellenic style. The actual Ara Pacis itself is very basic on the inside. It's essentially an altar where the sacrifice was to be performed. It's on the outside that's much more elaborate. And you can see from here that you've got a whole range of different figures and different mythological scenes being depicted on the monument. Let's have a closer look. For example, we can also see that there's a procession of thanksgiving for an Augustan priest. This particular image contains the priests of the colleges of Rome and the senators. You can tell which ones are the priests by the ones with their hoods up. The ones just wearing the laurel, the sign of victory, is they're just senators. You'll also notice that they're all wearing togas, again the sign of tradition. Next up, it's a real novelty and a real interesting piece, is the imperial family. And unlike the senators, you'll maybe notice that some of these are individually stylized, and classicists can pick out which individuals are represented by which of the imperial family. There's also three younger children. There's a bit of a debate as to who these are. Some are suggesting that they're actually the younger children in Augustus's family, such as Gaius and Lucius, or are they Parthia, Europe and Africa, again showing Roman domination and control. The mythological elements are a little bit more interesting. We've got Italia being depicted with two children. The idea is that Italia is bringing what Augustus rather has brought Italy back to life, and the two kids represent fertility and prosperity. The next one is something called the Lupercal panel, and it only survives in fragments. To give you a little bit of a better idea, this is what it actually looked like. It's the moment when Romulus and Remus, down here, being looked after by the she-wolf, are being discovered by Faustulus the shepherd in the myth, and this is Mars looking on. We've also got the idea of Aeneas, the Trojan who fled the sack of Troy to get to Rome, also being depicted offering a sacrifice of pigs. The pig is a sacrifice when a peace treaty is being signed. So yet again, we've got Romulus and Remus and Aeneas being depicted, showing Augustus as the third founder of Rome. All in all, Ara Pacis messages are of the restoration of tradition and religion, the Senate and the Republic, the new golden age of peace, the Pax Augusta, the Pax Romana. And you've got to be able to link the tradition, the religion and the myth to your other two monuments.